Morning, good morning. I hope you are all good. Masterminds, there are two persons in the house currently. If you come in, please come in with a like. Not if, when you come into the house, please come in the house with a like. I'm waiting for Njabs to join us, but while we are waiting, there's a few things that I told myself relating to the case, relating to the evidence that Rada depended so heavily on. The fact that Rada said that the Tops bottle store, Rada was relying heavily on the Tops bottle store. 60 people in the house, masterminds, only 9 likes. No, please, can you come in with a like? Can you please come in with a like? And when you don't know where to tap, just here on the screen, tap just on the screen on my nose. Just tap there on the screen if you don't know where to tap. Please give us the likes. We are bringing you hot information. Let those likes come in. Good morning, and chaps. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Sispet, and good morning to Real Mastermind.
Mm. Yes, and Japs, we just wanted to once and for all lay this matter of tops to rest. And we went out there and we did our research. And today we are back with the results of our research relating to tops on 26 October 2014. Since Rata was so adamant, the Zungu did go to tops. No, the alcohol ran out and they went to tops to go and buy alcohol. So, Japs, what do we have today?
I'm good, Sispet. How are you? And I think it's important for Real Masterminds to understand that we really respect. We don't speak about something until we have full information about it.
Mm,
Now um we did discuss and saying how we had reservations about 174,
mm,
but then also with seeing what has happened, suspect it was a blessing that
yeah.
we went through that, because what then it did, it exposed the two things: where's the mind of the judge,
Mm,
and they exposed the lack thereof of evidence against these five accused by the state.
mm-hmm,
Now, then the question says, suspect, how then do we move forward where else the judge has already declared that he trusts Zungu. Zungu's evidence is beyond reasonable doubt. Um, he, he, he trusts Mangena's evidence. He says it remains undisputed. Even counts how many experts arrives there. He doesn't stop there. He continues and says, Stain and Hose and Pinky. He called him a different name, Pinky Vitaligam.
mm,
He says, they presented excellent technical information.
mm-hmm,
Then, when he's trying to reflect on the record as part of his judgment, he messes up his own record. He introduced new evidence, things that we don't know where he got it from.
mm-hmm,
I think we are in trouble. I think right at this time, his experience let him down. Before then, we go on the matter of today's spent. Then I decided to see. Let me see a judgment that Racha um um handed down on the matter that excuse me, on the matter that he presided on. It was a matter between um a Johannesburg Bar Society versus Advocate KG. KG is in like KAJJEE.
Okay.
But there, this advocate was being disbarred, and it was the matter of ethical behavior and the rate that he was charging. I think at one invoice he charged something like 955, which then the state attorney worked out that the advocate said his rate is 2,500 per hour, but he's been charging them almost 66,000 per day. Then, which means now that if at 2,500 per hour, that means the advocate has been charging for 26.2 days, 26.4 per hour
Mm.
for 505 for plus 500 consecutive days. So now they're saying that the day is 24 hours. So this advocate did not sleep for that. Well, I don't know what's the merit, what was the advocate's defense. I already think about things that maybe I should have been articulated. But that summary is that he invoked a matter, a judgment that he actually invoked. I actually posted about that judgment where it says the court has a right to interfere for in pursuit of if there is an element of dishonesty and unethical behavior. He quoted that to give a whip to this advocate, said, you know what, I'm gonna ensure that you got banned because as lawyers we don't want such smelly behavior like this. Now that was around 2018 suspect. Now we're in 2025. What happened to that Rata that believed in the ethical behaviors?
Mm.
Because now what he did, he shouldn't come and say there are no typing services in Pretoria. He could have postponed the judgment and says, I'm going to hand over the judgment on Friday or any other day. Is that now ethical from Rata's
Ethical.
side? Yeah. Something. Sorry about that. So then it's important that now when we're measuring Rata, we must measure him on his own experience and we must measure him on his own listening skills. This is not personal. I've seen people that are saying, no, the judge says, no, no, no. Judge Rata came in there, he set a higher standard.
Mm.
He's the only lawyer in that court that has always been there on time. That's what he always tells us. He said he's the only lawyer there at his age in that court that first starts at the gym before he goes there. So now we need to actually measure him based on what he has told us. Now, now, suspect, we were then very disappointed that the judgment did not respect South Africans. We wake up every day, we follow the case. It didn't respect us. It was an insult to us how that judgment was presented. Now, because he listened, he talks about things about Babu Zungu. He talks
mm,
about things that they not even exist on the record.
mm.
He talks about pictures. He talks about accused number 4 buying alcohol. He talks
Jameson for
about
that matter. Jameson.
yes, he talks about polls. And real mastermind must understand that this is not personal. We are just coming from that point where he has taught us to listen. He has told us that this is who he is, 50 years experience. So we expect that experience to come about. Mind you, we're not defending the defense. We're not defending the sneaking, the sloppiness of the NPA. We're not defending the Kininda's team that has come then court and fabricated information have been cooking. We're not defending anyone in that court. At least with us, we've gone for all of them.
Mm,
Because all we want, we are more interested on this. Now, suspect, I then asked a friend of mine and said, but the judge goes there every day. Who is this person that always sits in front of the judge?
mm,
Yes. And then the judge will have their own researchers
mm,
that they can actually assist them. Now, there's just a few flaws about the witnesses that have come to court, which I'm of the view that if I don't know how it works, but if I cannot come to court and say I'm wearing the t-shirt, the red t-shirt that I was wearing on the day of the incident, it was this red. But this is not red. You see, the judge should be able to say, wait, Jabulo, that's are you saying it was this red? No, but that's
mm,
not red. Now, these are the issues today that we need to talk about, suspect.
mm,
We cannot entertain the witness that says that there was a celebration in 2014. Then they went around after 3 o'clock. Because remember, Zungu in his own evidence, he says he leaves Johannesburg after 2. So he will have been there at Fosloras between 3 and 3:30, regardless of the time. But then they drank, then they ran out of alcohol. Then they went to the bottle. At least they will have whatever alcohol that they had, at least it may have taken maybe 2 hours.
mm,
So now around 5 o'clock or any time after 4 p.m., even now on Sundays, the bottle stores don't open on Sunday until that time. But let's
mm.
talk about 2014 itself.
Let's talk about yes.
Yes. 2014 Real Mastermind. I want you so that you understand that Suspect was working at, you see, when you go in a local police station or at the SAPS, that unit that deals with firearms also is responsible for the liquor licenses and everything. It happens in one office. So any regulations and any changes, that was part of your day-to-day activities. At the time, you were working. So tell us, Suspect, that what was happening in terms of the things that were gazetted with relating to the selling of alcohol on Sundays.
That unit that you are referring to, it's called Flash, Firearm, Liquor, and Second-Hand Goods Control. When I was appointed in SAPS, I didn't start at liquor, at firearms. I started at the liquor department of Flash. That's where I started my career in the South African Police Service. Now,
Mm,
there's an act for liquor, There's an act for firearms. There's an act for second-hand goods. There was a National Liquor Act in 2014 that prohibited liquor outlets, especially of consumption. When we talk about of consumption, we are talking about your grocery stores. We are talking about your bottle stores. We are talking about every place where you buy liquor, where you are not. We're talking about your uh, um, let's say off consumption means you buy is take away, you buy, you leave. You are not supposed to sit there and drink unless you made a special application. But this special application is also a process. You must submit your application to your local liquor board. And then usually those applications were made for festivals, for maybe there's going to be a car wash who's going to have a function and wants to sell liquor. Stock fails also make applications. So you were not allowed to trade on Sundays without making a special application. Now, in terms of the liquor of the grocery store, referring now to Tops, same rules apply. Unless Tops made a special application, maybe on that day there was a function at Tops. Maybe there was they had some promotions at Tops whereby liquor were going. Maybe there was a liquor tasting or promotion that involved liquor, or they had music, whatever. Tops would have to make a special application for that specific date in order for them to sell liquor on that day. Unless Zungu wants to come and tell us that Tops on 26 October 2014, Tops made a special application to sell liquor, but also if Tops had made a special application, they would also not have been allowed to sell liquor to the general population. That liquor was also meant to be sold for the specific reasons of the application. Now, long point short, on 26 October 2014, in terms of the National Liquor Act, Tops was closed because Tops was not allowed to sell liquor on Sundays. And I'm not saying it because I'm sucking it out of my thumb. Me and Njabs went further to confirm this information. So we have the document, the National Liquor Act, showing the trading times of all liquor outlets nationally. And then that act, the norms and standards of that act was amended. There was proposals for an amendment. Those proposals were adopted on 15 February 2015. That is when those proposals were adopted in Parliament. So, Zungu is lying. The evidence was laid in court by Rata, who said that these people was They drank all the Jameson and they had to go and buy more at Tops. There's a lie. Tops was closed on that day. And we have documentary proof. And if the defense wants to take it further, the defense must now go to the Gauteng Liquor Authority to get the confirmation. And the defense must subpoena the head of the Gauteng Liquor Authority to court to come and testify on this national liquor instruction. And
Mm.
they would have their files. The files are being kept. If there was a special application from Tops for that specific day, they will have application in their files because you hardly ever find a grocery store applying for a special license to sell liquor on those prohibited days. So now the, the defense is going to crush this nonsense that is being fed to us in court because it's a lie.
Yeah, I'm just smiling because I'm reading the comments as well, and and then also the fact that the defense will crash. The defense, they need to work. They need to work. It's their careers. It's their reputation that is at stake. This thing, it's gone beyond them being paid or not being paid. Now it's a survival of their own careers because now, just before we continue that, the defense also faces a backlash from the accused person. They can say that you did not represent us.
Yes.
Um, you see, this sort is it's a danger on both sides. And even so, even with Baloyi, how do you allow a witness to continue with the evidence that is so wrong, that is not factually correct?
Yes.
Now, the fact that NPA as well as RAT are believing that evidence. Now, the question is, it's the defense. They need to expose that. The defense needs to go as far as subpoenaing SPA, a manager who's responsible for TOPS. You know what is important? The TOPS around Gauteng, they're governed by a liquor board of the province. What people don't know, they've got stats. They can even tell you guys how many Jamisons that were sold on the day.
Yes.
Now, suspect bringing that person because I don't even think, with an exception of Danze and Mngcobi, that all the other witnesses needs to take a stand. Basically, now they just the right witnesses to actually disbar to fight back on the nonsense of the state's case. Suspect, I actually did something that I'm gonna tell real masterminds for the first time. You didn't know this. I actually got the confirmation this morning. A real mastermind. Constable Zungu had a bank account,
Mm-hmm.
and on that bank account there were transactions that he did on the 26th of October.
Okay.
We just want the defense to subpoena Zungu's bank account.
You see? Mm-hmm.
But then now, what is quite interesting is that the behavior of the 2014 is way different than the behavior of him in 2017.
Mm.
So what happened was, even on the photos, some of the photos that old photos that Zungu have, those were photos of 2014. That is why Zungu does not have any photos with him with the guys in the party, because the photos that Zungu have is the photos of 2017.
And that's what you have been saying before. That's what you've
Yes.
been saying
It
before. There's no photos. I don't know where Rata saw photos of 2014. Where are the photos that Rata are mentioning of 2014? Where
is
Zoom took pictures with the accused.
no, there are no photos. In fact, they even go as far as um Zungu stole these pictures of these guys and he went to verify to get identity who are these people from his father.
From his father. From his father. He
Yes,
asked his father, who if who was with these people in 2014, how come you went to his father and asked his father who's this and this and this and this and this? How come?
yes. So now, guys, um, what we face with suspect, and there's another bomb again. I want real mastermind and you suspect to know. I received a phone call yesterday. Thank God it's a confirmed data call, so Pinky won't know it. So
Uh,
so I think I believe that if the caller is truthful, I said the person we need to go to the police station, basically.
mm,
Apparently, there is a person that says he's being hired to unalive Ntabiseng.
really?
Yes. And you know me, when people tell me things, I don't hide it. I don't have secrets. Because I said, so Ntabiseng must really, yeah, I don't know what is it in connection with, because Ntabiseng went to court and testified.
Maybe there's something at Ntabi saying, is it possible that she became a threat because someone is afraid that she might say something that she is not supposed to say?
You know, suspect I'm saying this thing because that person even said, you know what, I don't have time for this thing. I'm trying to bring my life back. I just came out from prison. Do you understand? That person said, so I just came out from prison.
Is this person
And
been a
this person,
Japs?
sorry?
Is this person been approached, the one who called you?
Yes. Yes. This person even says he was in Sun City prison. He shared the cell with Obama Pisa and them at some point. Now, when he's out, it's being called, and this person says, no, there's a person X that wants you to deal with a person with a witness. I even said to the guy, I mean, it can't be right.
Can't be right.
If you need help, I can take you to the police station and actually report this incident,
Mm.
basically. And that's what is happening now. Because I said, you know what, they will frame you. Because now
They
you've got
will.
links with number four.
You
Yes.
will, you will become accused number 6. You will become the mastermind. at the end of the day, the way this case are being run, now we hear from Rata now that Senzo died in hospital. Now Rata is telling us now Senzo died in hospital. The way Rata have changed the evidence, it changed the record, it changed everything. We don't know what is what anymore. Rata changed everything.
Yes, because we don't suspect. People must understand. I don't have personal issues with the witnesses that were in the house because now some of them, their lives becoming in danger. I mean, we've unpacked the issue of Makaleni.
Mhm.
Makaleni ended up not being used suspect because Makaleni didn't have a phone. Makaleni appears as if he was a virtual person. Suspect and real mastermind, ask yourself this. Who in South Africa has the right to post is not a family member? How can you post this?
Mhm.
You see, this is my
Yes.
identity card.
Mhm.
Now, imagine a person who's a journalist that will post a death certificate. Remember, death certificate is a very
Full
sensitive
one,
thing.
all the information, just like that. He didn't edit, didn't do anything. He just went and posted like that.
Yes. So now what I will answer you guys in the comments. You see, for me, I don't do things on my own. So whenever you come with information, it's either I say, let's go to the police station, we meet there. I don't meet with you on a separate location, no, 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 I don't get involved in that. Now, 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 what is important, the suspect is that um the journalist that is posting this information, firstly, where did he get the death certificate from?
Mhm. Where?
And it's the same journalist that defended Tumelo when you're asking Tumelo who's the owner of the car. He said the car is his.
He spent a
I
lot of
remember that spec. I was somewhere closer to Ziras.
he spent a lot of time with Tumelo. He spent a lot of time with Tumelo.
Yes. Now,
Now the
now
journalist is asking a lot of questions because it seemed like at the time this thing was burning him up. It seems at the time he wanted people to do their own digging because the questions that he raised, coming back to the death certificate, there's also the issue of the Simpiwe Ngwinya who was sitting with Makeleni on at a power station. And then, according to the same journalist, Simpiwe Ngwinya was shot by a known taxi owner, and this taxi owner was never arrested. There was never a case opened. Now, I asked some of my sources to say, can you please check on Makeleni's ID whether there was an inquiry registered into his death? There's nothing. There's nothing.
no suspect there won't be anything because even there's no funeral parlor that claimed. Because remember, that certificate comes with it must be aligned to a funeral parlor. There's no you see when you
There's
look
nothing.
at the home affairs information, there's no funeral parlor that is linked to that certificate. Now, now the issue is South Africa, you need to be wary if me and Suspect are sitting down telling you things.
The
You
journalist
need to
is
find
Mzili Kazi. Just a moment. Someone is asking who's the journalist. The journalist is Mzili Kazi wa Africa. If you know him, Mzili Kazi wa Africa. If you can go on his Twitter account, you will go and find all that information that we are discussing, Back to 2022, prior to 2022, because he was one of the first journalists, investigative journalists. He was also in the Netflix documentary, and I also remember he asked a lot of questions in the Netflix documentary. also relating to all the phones. Why did if it was a robbery, why did they only take one phone? Why did they not take Senzo's car, which is one of the most valuable things there? Well, he asked a lot of questions, and resulting of that, I remember they then linked into another Twitter account, Advocate Barry Rue, Chico, and they said that he is the one who is spreading. I remember they almost destroyed his career. Actually, they did, because after the Senzo Meyiwa case, he just vanished from the scene.
Yes. Now, now, then no, it didn't stop there. It didn't vanish. After he spent a lot of time with Chico, he went back and posted things about um these five accused. Where else he says there was no intruders.
Someone asked, why
No,
is he not tweeting anymore? You know what? When powerful, you see what they did with Advocate Defo. They attempted to do that with him. When powerful people is in charge, you will not get gigs anymore. You will not be employed anymore. You will not get. He was one of the best black investigators journalists. He was one of the best. When you see a story of Mzilikazi wa Africa, you know for a fact that that is one of the scoops, and all the facts will be there. That's why a lot of people don't
yeah.
know him. Go and look for him, go and research him. Prior 2014, he was big. He was big.
Let me try and see if I can do this, Pet.
Mastermind, please like
Okay.
219 likes, 627 masterminds in the house. No. Can we please like the live? And I'm going to, as long as Njabs is busy there trying to look for something. Zungu was not a detective constable, he was a uniform constable, meaning that even when he goes to work, he must have been uniformed. He was not allowed to work in civilian clothing, and he was also not allowed to work in a unmarked vehicle. If he was a uniformed police officer, meaning that he was someone who was doing visible policing, meaning that he had to wear his uniform, meaning that he had to drive a marked vehicle. Um, Okay, relating Baba Absalom Zungu, I spoke to someone yesterday and they told me that he's still in high spirits. They told me he's safe. They told me he's guarded by the community. They told me that no one will come close to him because that is a very close knit community. Everyone knows everyone, and yes, still now we are doing our regular checkups on him, and he is still safe.
Uh,
Okay. Yes, if you tap twice on my nose like that, you will be able to like 282 likes, 640 masterminds in the house. Please like the live. And Jabs, you can proceed.
yes. All right, Suspect. I was trying to actually pull out Mziliazwa Africa's piece that he wrote 5 years ago.
Mm.
Um, but I will show that when we do the offline recordings. But it's titled Inside Senzo Meyiwa's Meta. Do you understand? That's
That
how
up.
Mziliazwa Africa was writing. Yes.
Mm.
He said it's a cover up. He wrote this piece in line with Karapong Web. Yes. So now, this is what he says. He says on the headline, Senzo Meyiwa was mistakenly shot allegedly by one of the seven people who were at the home of his girlfriend Kelly Kumar.
Mm.
Now, he says Senzo Meyiwa was mistakenly shot, allegedly by one of the seven people present at the home of his girlfriend Kelly Kumar. Senzo
Repeat it.
Meyiwa was mistakenly
Repeat it again.
Senzo Meyiwa was mistakenly shot, allegedly by one of the seven people present at the house. At his
There's Mzilikazi wa Africa. There's Mzilikazi wa Africa.
yes,
He said
it
a lot of.
involved in part of covering up.
Mm.
Yes, it says it was an imaginary robbery gone wrong. In part of the cover up, which involves senior police officers, Sunday's Independent can reveal. Contrarily, the claim that Mayo was killed by armed robberies, the former Bafana Bafana and Orlando Pirate goalkeeper was accidentally shot when he tried to interfere on a quarrel between Kelly Kumalo's sister Zandi and his boyfriend Longetwala at the singer's mother's home in Fosloras Ekurulane in the 14th of October. Now, then it says the former lead investigator in the case, Colonel Brigadier Gininda, said have to have withheld a crucial statement that he received in 2017 on one who murdered Meyiwa and why. The case of defeating the ends of justice has since been opened against him in May this year, but it was mysteriously transferred to KwaZulu-Natal before he was arrested and questioned.
Just
Now,
can you
police
repeat it
source,
again? Can you repeat it again about a case that
the,
was open against Gininda?
yes, it says the former lead investigator in this case, Gininda, Colonel Bongani Gininda, is said to have withheld a crucial statement he had received in 2017 on who murdered Meyiwa and why. A case of defeating the ends of justice was since opened against him in May this year, but it was mysteriously transferred to KwaZulu-Natal before the arrest and questioning. Then they say this is now I'm trying to go down. Then the police source claims that nobody from NPA is willing to sign the warrant of arrest. These revelations are contained in Meyiwa's murder docket and other official records seen by the Sunday Independent this week. This is 2019, guys. Then it says this include a draft charge sheet, and a sworn supplementary affidavit from the neighbors' correspondence, letters between the police and NPA, and a comprehensive police progress report to Minister Begitele and National Commissioner Kehla Sithole by the former investigator, Colonel Gininda this year. In a
He's
memo, the Gauteng director of it,
mm,
it says in the memo, the Gauteng director of public prosecution, Advocate Sibongile Mzinyathi, in August 7, 2019, the Johannesburg prosecutor boss, Advocate Chauke, is said to no contact was made with his office from the 10th of August 2015 until the docket of the case was handed back to his office on the 8th of April after various attempts. In summary, the main purpose of the meeting was to get approval of the senior officer's lead investigator, appointment of it. You
What
see,
is the title of that article in Jobs?
okay, the name of the article is under AOL. The title says Inside Senzo Meyiwa's Murder Cover Up by Mzilikazi wa Africa. I tell you what, if you wanna Google the article, just Google for Mzilikazi wa Africa, type Senzo Meyiwa 2014 cover ups. Then you'll see the full article there. But what is interesting, Suspect, in this case is that here's the journalists are talking about things. And these journalists, I don't remember them being sued
No.
because this will have been, yes, this will have been a malicious information against Brigadier Kinenda. Ne?
Mm-hmm.
So, but they're not being sued, nothing. So it
Remember
means
that
that they're very,
that journalist that information. There was a question that he asked on Twitter. He asked, why did Tumelo not attend the funeral of Senzo? Then there's another very, very, very strange question. Who took Tumelo to Senzo's grave in the middle of the night? Who took Tumelo? There was another question. Who took Tumelo to a Sangoma after Senzo was killed? And why was the
yeah,
Sangoma
we don't know.
out of the car and left in the middle of nowhere? The same Sangoma was chased out of the car and left in the middle of nowhere.
Suspect, can
Also,
you
the
switch
Sangoma
off
was,
your video? Suspect your network.
is my network
Can you switch off your yes? Can you
my
switch
video?
off your video and then back it on again?
Okay.
Yeah, just switch off a video and then switch it back on. Yes.
Okay. So if people want more information, go search the Twitter account of Mzilikazi wa Africa. There's a lot of questions that he asked. A lot of questions. You can also go and watch the Netflix documentary where he's asking also. He says strange, very, very what is being. This is strange. This is very, very strange. I don't understand. Now, someone was one of the first journalists who covered the story, meaning that he's one of the first people who got the correct information. He's one of the first people who got the correct information, and he got frustrated in 2022 when he started posting those questions or those tweets because the information have now been changed. Is not the information that he knows any longer. And he was not even afraid to go and post it because I believe that he have the information and he will protect himself should someone challenge him in court on that information. But I believe his frustration is because the information that he knows that he got firsthand from the people who were in the house have been changed by Gininda in court. That's information that he has. And these statements that he is referring to are not in court because Gininda went now and changed everything. That is why he calls it the Senzo Meyiwa cover-up. So we want masterminds. I see we have lost in jobs. I believe it's because of network. Masterminds, we cannot just accept that because Rata made a judgment that Rata is right. Rata is not, there are those who are very, very happy. Rata made a judgment. Yeah, Rata made a judgment. Their judgment doesn't mean anything because it's a lie. Any judge can make a judgment in court. It doesn't mean that their judge is right. Yes, the judge have the right. He's a judge. He have the right to make a judgment based on his opinions, based on the evidence that he believes. But it doesn't mean the judge is right. When does matter? Listen, I don't say if. I say when does matter go to the Supreme Court? Rata's reputation is going to be destroyed. You see, there's 50 years experience that he so loved to mention. It's going to be destroyed in the appeal court. My advice to the defense, abandon the section 174 application, proceed with your defense. Section 174 now for Ntanzi, for the other accused, useless. There's already a judgment. Their judgment tells me that the judgment that Rata made, their judgment tells me that is applicable on all the accused already. It's applicable on all the accused already. So what I'm saying, defense, there is more than enough evidence out there to dispute the evidence of the state. There's more than enough. We already now gave you more evidence about TOPS. Follow the evidence. The Team State just love this phrase. Follow the evidence. I don't know which evidence Rata followed when he said that Senzo Meyiwa died in hospital. I don't know which evidence is there, but Team State will tell you, follow the evidence. I don't just follow evidence that I didn't confirm myself. I don't do that. I don't, they are following, they don't following the evidence, they are following the people leading the evidence without confirming the evidence themselves. I don't do that. If you tell me, I'm another kind of person, I'm very inquisitive. If you tell me something, I go and do my own research. I'll come back based on the research that I did, based on what I confirmed. I don't follow people who tell me something. I follow what is there. Physical evidence, I follow that. So, masterminds, all I'm saying is he's going to be thrown out of retirement, judges. You know what? Who I'm very sorry about, ne? I'm feeling sorry for his family. I'm not feeling sorry for him. You know what he's doing? This is not old age. This is not old age. Judge Rata knows exactly what he's doing. The people that I'm really feeling sorry for is his wife and his children. They are going to carry the burden of what Rata is doing in court currently. He's going to, whenever he's going to introduce himself to someone and use the surname Rata, they're going to ask him, are you the family of Judge Rata? That is the repercussions of when people do things. It follows, it becomes a generational curse. It follows the family at the end of the day. They don't think about that when they do these things. They know they have families, they know they have children, but they don't think about that when they do it. But this, even if you die, it becomes a generational curse on your family. That they don't consider that. They don't consider that. So the ginger ale in the coffee mug. The ginger ale in the coffee. What I saw. Judge Rata was not himself. He was not himself. He was shivering. He was all over the place. He was the professional judge came in with a written judgment. If it was one of the defense lawyers, he would have told them how unprofessional they are. How can you come with a written judgment to court? If it was one of the defense, he would have told them. He would have made sure that it makes breaking news, and Linda Mnisi would have been there. Yes, one of the defense lawyers, Mnisi, came with a written judgment. Linda Mnisi is not talking about Judge Rata's written judgment. He's not. He's not talking about Judge Rata's unprofessionalism to come to a whole high court with a written judgment and say there's no typist around in Pretoria. But he have typists in his office. The defense must really, information is out there. There are people out there who are offering these services pro bono and free if they want the assistance. People who want justice. People who we cannot allow. You know what we are fighting for? The judiciary. We are fighting for our country to set this president in court. We are all doomed. If we are going to allow Judge Rata to set this president in court, in this high court, we are doomed. This will be a precedent. And this will those who are coming after the 5 accused, regardless of who they are, regardless of what their status is in the communities or wherever, especially poor people, ordinary people, that president is going to hunt every one of us. He's going to hunt every one of us. He doesn't need an expert. He doesn't need a law expert to see what is happening in that court. It doesn't need a law expert to see that it's now Rata versus defense. The judge is not state versus anymore. It's Rata versus defense. So let's open our eyes. Share the information if you have it. We are getting information on a daily basis. And we are doing research. We make it our business to go and dig, to do our research. There are people out there with information. Currently now, in jobs, if the information that someone wants to take Ntabiseng out. Now you ask Ntabiseng, what is it that you know that are threatening these people? You better go to the police station and report. Otherwise, you are going to be unalived with that information. You got yourself in a sticky situation, it's your duty to get yourself out of the sticky information. Otherwise, this will also hunt your own family. This will also become a generational curse on your own family. If there's something that you know, you better get yourself to the nearest police station, because now they are after your life. Ntabiseng, I'm talking to you, woman to woman. They are after your life. You are not safe anymore. You better come out with the truth. Masterminds, thank you so much for joining the live. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the love. And yes, we will try to do more likes, because there was a request to say the lives are better and we have more time to discuss matters. So we will, if you know Ntabiseng, anyone who knows Ntabiseng's family, Ntabiseng's colleagues, Ntabiseng's neighbors, Ntabiseng, tell Ntabiseng if she have to contact Njabs, let her contact Njabs. The person who approached to deal with Ntabiseng have contacted Njabs. Tell Ntabiseng that she must contact Njabs so that she can come clean if she have to come clean, if there's something that they want to that she have that needs to be buried, because that something will be buried with her. So Ntabiseng, be very, very, very careful and make a decision. This is a life and death decision. Get in contact with Njabs. Get in contact with Njabs. You are now in a situation and you are lucky. You are lucky because that person wants to clean his life up. He doesn't want to proceed with this. He doesn't want to proceed with this. He wants to clean up his life. You are lucky because you are getting the information before it happened. But if you feel you can deal with it, if you feel you can take it, we will read it in the newspapers. We will read about it in the newspapers. We cannot do anything. We are here to just, we share the information, we expose what we have, what have been shared with us. But I'm going to end it here. People get in contact with Ntabiseng and ask Ntabiseng to do the right thing in her view. That, you know what, when we talk about doing the right thing, your right thing and my right thing might be two different right things. Let her do the right thing in her view. If she knows what is the right thing in her view, let her do the right thing. Let us not get headline news and say this happened. Masterminds, I'm going to stop it here. Until next time, we got you the information. Anyone else who wants to go and confirm the information, especially relating to the tops that was closed on that Sunday, you are free to go. You are free to approach the Gauteng Liquor Board to go and confirm the information. We hope the defense will go to the Gauteng Liquor Board to confirm the information. We also hope the defense will subpoena someone from the Liquor Board to come and testify on the evidence that Rata led in his judgment relating to the Section 174. Going to end it here. Bye-bye, masterminds.